Shout out to everybody here on this wonderful second day of the year as we bring it in. It's interesting. I was just thinking about the key concepts. I have something so much to talk about as we bring in this new year. But let's break it down. I'll see you soon. Bitcoin doing some interesting things. I got some theories here. We're going to break it down and show you what's cracking. Check, check, check. Shout out to everybody here on the live. Thank you for being here. Appreciate each and every one of you for jumping on in, sharing your most precious asset with me, and that is your time. Hope you had a wonderful time with your family. You know, the thing about today I was just thinking is, because it's Thursday and then it goes into Friday over the weekend, everyone's like, eh. But if today was like a Monday, or if today was like a Tuesday, right? I mean, it would be observed. If it was Sunday, it would have been observed, but you know what I'm saying. The point is, because we roll into the weekend, today's a very nothing burger. You know, and everything. Most people are going to call, who's going to go to work for a day? Some people may. You know what I mean? But most people are going to be out. They're going to be gone for the week doing something, right? If you think about it, like, take the whole week off. I'll be back on Monday. And the same with the market, the same with certain things. So even though the markets are open today, it's going to be a slower day. Very low volume as far as I'm concerned. You never know. Let's take a look at Bitcoin because we never know. Let's find out if there's anything fun out there. But in general, right, I was looking at DUSK because it starts to get tight above the 200 moving average. Bit of an inverted head and shoulder, kind of ascending triangle type of form here. And you never know. I don't own any. It doesn't matter to me. I just like watching TA. And I've been watching this right now. Got an alert on there. If it goes by, it lets me know. So what I do is I watch the markets and I see what's happening. So last night I put out a trade. We had a little bit of a pump. Came back, pumped again. I got out of the trade with a stop loss up into here. Wasn't huge, but at least it wasn't a loss. You know what I mean? It was a win. And so, yeah. And we had a win yesterday. So 2 wins in 2026. Not amazing. We'll go from there. We're getting a possible retest off of this resistance here. We're going to break all that down for you and more. How we kind of got to this point. 89,300, a little bit of a bounce from the low just a few hours ago there at 88,474 for Bitcoin. Let's take a look at our daily close. Let's take a look at what happened last night. Let's break down our top-down analysis for BTC. First thing I want to look at is that top-down. I want to take a look at my daily close last night. I love taking this, just kind of seeing what happened here. $87,648.21. The high was $88,919 and 45 cents. The low, $87,550 and 43. And the candle closed at $88,839. It went up $1,190.82, up 1.3236%. So Bitcoin had a bullish candle, and it is a bullish engulfing candle. You could put this candle inside of this green candle. That makes it a bullish engulfing candle. That could possibly give us, and there's a new tweezer bottom set right there, right, which would give me daily support. So we got daily support at about 87,005 now for whatever reason, but we do. And we kind of seem like we double bottomed here too on the daily. If you see 1, 2, and made a little support there. I'm just going over support or resistance there on the daily. Yeah, we'll get back to that. Let's kind of zoom back out to the monthly. So the monthly, when we zoom in, it has a tweezer bottom. Not amazing, but it is a green candle next to a red one. Could we get a close on the month? Again, it's the beginning. December was crazy. It felt like, I have to be honest, December felt like a long time. Even I know time flies, and it does feel like time is going by pretty quick. Like 2025 was quite fast. 2025 was, the older you get, the faster the years go. That's it's almost like, for me, there's a little bit of anxiety to it. I calm down for a second. I think it's the coffee, though. I'm just drinking coffee. I think that's what, but you think about time, and you're like, man, it's going to go by so fast. Like, before I know it, I'm going to be older than I am, faster than I realize. And that's another thing. I don't think, when we get older, we look back. Like I did, here's a horrible, I got out of school and I was pretty lost with where exactly I wanted to be. I kind of had some mental issues too, like that I think needed clear. I think God helped me with them too. I think I needed God's help, and I just, I really believe that. But anyway, whatever I wanted to blame my situation on, maybe lack of discipline. Let's just say about lack of discipline. See, there I am already making excuses, trying to find a reason why I wasn't exactly where I wanted to be in a certain part of my life. But, I did struggle, and, I was like, I'm going to be a rapper. I'm going to be in film. I'm going to do this. And I never picked a full direction. I couldn't keep doing one thing consistently. So, of course, I never had anything. And I didn't really even understand this concept. Like, in my mind, I just keep being like, how come things aren't working out? I keep trying this. I keep trying that. I guess I'll try something different, And my mind finally was like, oh no, you got to be consistent. Like, you got to do the same things over and over again. I was like, oh, you know, so and then I was like, oh, that's hard. I can't do that. I was like, every time I try to do that for a couple days, I get upset when it doesn't happen. I was like, I can't handle the rejection. I was weak, you know what I mean? I was thick-skinned in many ways and weak-skinned in other ways. It was interesting. Anyway, we're looking for the monthly to get this bounce to the upside, right? Swing up to swing up, swing down to swing down on the RSI. Seeing if price action can get back up at least to monthly resistance there at 102,005. Okay? And, you know, it's dug in. Let's see what happens here if these 2 wicks can tell the story and propel us back to the upside. It is a hidden bullish divergence. We do have a Fibonacci retracement to a pretty low area. The fear and greed got very low, the 2-week chart. So this is, I find bottoms that I've talked to this and I talk about it, but the 2-week chart to me is a bottom finder. And I look at Bitcoin and it's, you know, all-time history really. This is from 2017, so pretty good, you know, wow, we're in 2026 now. Just crazy. And 2 years already have come by. You know, I'm going to tell you something that's going to possibly freak you out, but your life is going to go by faster than you realize. Some people here are older than me. I'm sure. There's my man, Crypto Face, man. God bless you, bro. Shout out to you, man. I'm going to get all sentimental right now, so get out your tissues. Or you could use your doggy. I would cry on that big dog, you know? That big white dog. I'll just cry all over. No, I love you, man. Shout out to Face. Banging on him, too, at the beginning of the year. Just doing his thing. So, but you know what? Your life is going to go by very fast. I have to say to everybody. I remember when I just got into crypto. And I remember when, you know, 2017, late 2016, I'm dabbling with altcoins on BitTrex. I called it BitTrex. I think it was called BitTrex. It's gone now. But yeah, that was the spot. Anyway, look, you have hidden bullish divergence on Bitcoin. You have swing down to swing down. You're low on the stochastics. And I've been using the 2-week chart for a long time. Oh yeah, this is what I was going to do. I was doing something. I was talking about the 2-week chart before I got so rudely distracted by... No, I'm just messing. God bless Crypto Lifer. Give me a shout out, my man. Shout out to General Dictator. You're funny, man. God bless you, bro. Shout out to the General Dictator, man. Silly. Pencil Neck. Welcome. You're so... Hey. Hey, shout out to all the pencil necks. One day you'll be better than that. You're on your way, though. Life will get better, I promise. No, so serious. That's funny, right? So, this thing went down to the 886. It then kind of bounced off the 786, and now it's kind of hovering. I'm just saying, even if we make a right shoulder, which it looks like we may be in for just a right shoulder and a dumpski. Like, I'm not saying it's going to be the light, you know what I mean? This could be it. Like, and we, you know, oh, the 4-year cycle wasn't over. Oh, everyone was wrong again. See, I don't know what's going to happen. Is the 4-year? I don't even play that game. To me, it doesn't matter. You know why? Because when we're bullish, we're going to cross the 4-hour 200 moving average. Nice and simply. And I'm going to show you all this soon. I don't want to break you, actually. I got so much to tell you. Shh, I'm jumping the gun. But my whole point is when we're bullish, I'll see things in my system that'll tell us it's long time. And most people won't see it. And we've done this many, many times, right? For 5 years, we've made a living, a business off of watching people get short squeezed, but not the lifers. Triple H's jiggling and wiggling here. That means there's a lot of volatility on the book map. Le book map. I did say le book map. Yes. Le book map. There's a lot more liquidity down here at about, what, 81,000, 81, all the way to 82.5. So anything is possible. And you don't want to be a boiling fog in water, okay? I was watching the stream. This guy was telling me this morning, he was like, don't be a boiling frog. I can't remember his name. I think his name was Crypto Face? That's what it was. No, but he was like, don't be a boiling frog. Don't be a frog. Don't be a boiling frog. Because a frog will sit in boiling water and sit in boiling water. And it gets hotter and hotter. And then when he has a chance to jump, he doesn't. and then he gets boiled up. You know what I mean? So the idea is like when you're trading, don't just sit in the trade until you give it all back. Sell that trade, take the money, right? And change your life. You know what I mean? And so don't be a frog in boiling water, man. You know what I mean? Straight up. Like that's what was taught to me by a wise man this morning. Okay? I'm listening, bro. I'm listening, see? You come to my stream, I come to yours, baby. You scratch my back, I scratch yours, man. Pepe doing wonders. Well, Pepe's getting shilled pretty hard too out there on the socials the last few days. So yes, and you got to kind of correlate some of those things. There is that going on. All right. Well, how do you do, friends? How do you do to you? Shout out to my man, Boosted Flames. Shout out to Servando Estrada, long-time lifer. Shout out to my man, Crypto Knight. Shout out to Dizzy Gang, Nate Kiss, the Lord of the Ring vlogs. He loves those Lord of the Rings, and he vlogs it. Shout out to Farouk, J. Mill. Shout out to all the awesome people, Jamal Antonio, Bob Franklin, and all the Unrave song records. How can I forget? Magic Recall, love it. Amazing. Sean Plays in the house. Sean Plays, baby. Sean Plays. His name Sean Plays in a dang chain. Bob Franklin in the house. Thank you. Irish Aries, Matt Stevens holding me down. I'm Irish. I'm Aries. I'm Sam. Wow, we're almost like we're twins, man. Chat is buzzing as usual. Love the chat. Shout out to Burke in the house. Shout out to Bellico X in the house. Bellico X holding me down. Happy New Year. The second day of the year. Solidified. Let's go. Let's do it. Let's nail it. Let's hit it. Good morning. Good morning to you. May God bless you and yours. Yeah. Video like Chad's. I like video likes Chad's. Thank you, Chad. My man, Afterglow Gaming. I like that. That's cool. Afterglow Gaming. That's pretty sick. Shout out to my man GD in the house again. Vetty Goat in the house. Of course, Vetty Goat holding me down. All right. So that looks bullish to me on the weekly. I've just, you know what I mean? And I've been using the 2-week chart for a long time. And I use the Fear and Greed when we get to 10 and 11. And the Fear and Greed, look at it. It's at 28 now. I mean, that's crazy. Like you had a chance at 10 and 11. Now, will it ever get to 10 and 11? Maybe not. It's kind of weird how it jumps all the way up like that. That's kind of insane. Look at this, everybody. A $200 super chat. And let's see what it does to the... Usually this should look... Okay, here we go. Ready? Boom. Okay, little movement in the jar there. Thank you. Oh, that ball stayed in. Happy New Year, Sam. Thanks for what you do. 2025 was a wonderful year. Market was good to me. 26 will be much better. Shout out to our man BTC Bill for dropping a $200 super chat. Constantly coming to the stream, hooking me up. I don't know who you are. I'd like to meet you in person one day. You are a super powerhouse over here, constantly supporting me. Unbelievable, man. Thank you so much. That's very nice of you. I can't even believe that. That will come back to you tenfold. And I hope you have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for the $200 super chat from my man BTC Bill. Not asking for a thing, too. Just proclaiming, hey, thank you. And talking his piece about the year. God bless you, man. You're a blessing, bro. What if we all went to some live stream today and just blessed someone with $200? Isn't that crazy? Think about how good your life would be if you went somewhere just to bless someone for $200. Maybe it was someone on the corner. Maybe it was a waitress. Maybe it was a friend. Maybe it was a family member. This guy chose me, of all people, which is, I find, just mind-boggling. But thank you, man. And you know why? It's because this channel is a guiding light. When people do this, they want to make it, it's an inspiration here. It's like, wow, look at that. You could be inspired too. And look what happened to me by going live every day. Look what people do, right? So to me, it's all about inspiration. I think if I can be an inspiration, if everything can go, like if a super chat can go through me to inspire others to want to go after their dreams, that's the point, right? It's the unfolding of what happened just there. He went live. Someone loves him, sends him the love. They have respect for each other. Boom, right? It just it boggles the mind, but thank you, man. You know, and I know I go deep into a lot of stuff because there's just more behind everything than people look at. So look, I mean, the 2-week chart starting 1, 2, 3. I mean, I have to be honest with you. It'd be rare if we don't bounce. I'd be a little bit surprised. Why? We have hidden bullish on the 2-week. I showed you the Fibonacci. Okay, I showed you hidden bullish. Hidden bullish says you're going to break this high 90% of the time before you break this low. You can wick all you want. You can wick around all you want. But if you don't go all the way, but you got to actually, make it through to the other side, right? As they say in football, you would have to, no, I can't do it. They do it all the time, though. I can't believe they get away with doing it. I just can't do it. Interesting. One day I don't know if anyone knows what I'm saying, but the announcers say a word all the time in football that I'm like, oh, we could go through this line, but I want to say it, but I even can't say it on my YouTube channel. And now I'm realizing, dang, like they just say it freely whenever they want. It's fun. I don't know. It's not even funny. It's kind of like, whoa, it always makes me, I've been feeling something divinely guiding me to help people in crypto. Thank you, man. Well, keep doing your thing, man. Hopefully my channel is a place where you can meet people. So that's a tweezer bottom right there. So what it tells me is this, a long right here with a stop below these 2 wicks, or one of these, right here, anywhere here and there, could end up playing out pretty nicely. And it takes some guts. A lot of people aren't going to do it. But, I mean, hey, if you can't long the tops, then you got to long the bottoms. I mean, it's been 3 weeks now going into, and this candle closes in 2 days. So it was a silently quiet little bounce in the last couple of days where most people aren't really paying attention. But we'll see what happens. I'm always a little more bullish than I should be, but I am an open-minded trader that does keep it 100 either way. Like, I'm at the same time, I still see how this could turn into a short. It doesn't look amazing. The weekly has some, has some interesting vibes. This candle closes as such on the weekly. Love to see that. That closes Sunday night. Sorry, the 2-week chart closes in 2 weeks. No, that closes tomorrow night too. Yeah, I'm sorry. Yeah, no, we're spot on. Yeah, so the 2-week chart and the weekly. That would be a bullish engulfing candle on the weekly. All right, with a chance of a bounce back to the upside here for Bitcoin. So, hey, again, I'm like 55-45. You know what I mean? It's still, one thing I kept talking about and saying, hey, I mean, there's this cup and handle kind of vibe here. And, we all know, and there's a gap here. There's liquidity up here. And just Bitcoin just likes to kind of come back and go through whoever it just ran through. Like it ran down and then it ran up through those people. It only has so much liquidity to take it down and so much liquidity to take it up, right? Like it can't just go for weeks and it can't go for years. Like it can go down for a while and go up for a while, but it's not, you know what I mean? It's just like 30 days, 40 days usually, 50 days, right? It's not like it pumps for 5 months straight, It has a gradual uptrend, but there's always a pullback. So I'm not saying that's a guarantee for a pump for Bitcoin, but you got to always look at the liquidity, right? And look what it's been doing. I mean, the Bears threw everything in the kitchen sink at it, and they weren't able to break the previous low, regardless of however you want to look at it right here and now on the 5-day chart, right? That's the low. You got to break that, don't you? And so if you don't break that low, then you have to assume you could come to the high. And we all know how important 94,000 is. You break for 94,000. I'm telling you right now, I don't think people realize. You break through 94K, and it's going to be like Mount Vesuvius in Pompeii, if you know your history. It's going to be, hopefully it's not, I don't want to, it could be detrimental to the shorts in that way. But, my whole point is it's going to be an explosion of liquidity and price action. So yeah, this 5-day chart closed red and now is going for another green close. It's interesting. 3-day chart closed green again, looking for another green close. I really want to see us get back above the 200 moving average. This has kind of an Adam and Eve vibe to it, if you ask me, and there's a bit of a bottom there on the 3-day chart. And then we move on into the daily. So here we are on the daily. Same scenarios, kind of like, and we're going to break down the daily now. So, nice. Sweet. So here we are on the daily. And a daily, again, also still, it has this, if you took away this dagger, whatever, it has this, this Adam and Eve, and it has this shoulder, head and right shoulder. It has this cup and handle. It held above the point of control for days now. All right, the POC, which tells me that it can get, once a POC holds that strong, I start looking at the high volume node. And look, and then I see here, right there. And I'm like, man, there it is. Like, that's the holy grail right there. 102, 100, 101.5. So, man, yeah. I mean, and Bitcoin actually getting a pump as we speak to the upside here. Nice little scalpelino. Actually might have been a scalp. Man, we're back to where we were this morning with a major. I'm going to show you what I'm looking at now. A lot of volatility on the smaller time frames. They definitely went after the 100Xers pretty fast. Happy we didn't get involved in that. So, Adam and Eve double bottom here, possible if we X-nay that little move. And, you know, there's that sign. And then the higher low to me is huge when you have this many days included in it. Like, there is your tweezer bottom. That's definitely your tweezer bottom right there. That's your low. That's a higher low. And then that's your high right there that you made for sure, right? I mean, that's your last tweezer top. The Bears had a lot. I mean, they had everything. And we've kind of made we've cleared this, right? So this is a tiny dig out, you know? And so, again, you respect the dig out if it makes sense. So, like, we can wick now below 88.4, 88.5, but we can't close daily candles below it. That high now has to be the broken high. That, you know, that way we can get back to this area. The candle close there is 93.5, but 94K, and really that 94.5 right there, that area right there. This is even just between these two areas, this range, we just got to break through that range. And you can see the promised land is there. We got two nice nodes waiting for us and a nice big open space for us to grind. I'm not saying it's happening for sure. The daily's getting a little overbought, but we did enter territory where we could get at least the bounce. So we'll see. There's support for Bitcoin right now on the daily, right there at 87,001 and right there at 85.5. Bounce, double bounce. Let's see what we can do now. Now it's up to the smaller time frames to see if they can build. The daily is entering a momentum stage where we could get a bounce. You know, we're getting at least a little bit of a cross. The MACD doesn't look too strong, but we could start to get some momentum there. The RSI is in a great place. It just crossed the 200. You know, it's moving average there, the yellow line. Looks like a shoulder, head, kind of right shoulder, and this thing starts to move up. I mean, that gives us that leg. So, okay, so far, 12-hour, 22, both poised. When these get really tight, I see them pump up to the 200 moving average. It will be a nasty rejection, but you will pump up to this yellow line. Kind of coincides with my high volume node. It gives me the space. We have this fast move down, which is a fast move up. You can see the Adam and Eve built in there. Is it just me? Or am I the only one that sees that? Or am I just out of my mind, right? So I'm seeing some key areas for Bitcoin that look pretty juicy to me. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. You know, stop losses below here and here. To me, I think are worth it. You know, down, you know, 1 for 3, you know, 500 for 1,500. I think for me personally, those are great odds at the, you know, so we see what happens. We go for the gusto. One trade can change it all, which is crazy, I know. But if you stick it out long enough and really have the patience, it's usually the long-term patient ones that can really change your life. The ones you felt like you should have been in and out, the ones that took like I've been in trades that take 2-3 months. Like even the bot right now, my bot, man, the thing is battling this price action. Look at this range it's been in. It gets denied by 90,005. It gets bounced at 86. It gets denied by 90,000, bounced at 86. Denied by 90, bounced by 86. Denied. It's crazier. And it's going to get tighter and tighter till a bigger move is coming. Hey, but it's better than a slow bleed to the downside. I'll take it. You see what I'm saying? Like, and at least it gives us a leg to stand on. So again, tight moving averages. Whenever these get tight like this, the 21 charts a curve, I see a bounce up to the 200 moving average. It doesn't mean we're out of the water for good. There's still some bearish tones here. I don't want you to think like Sam's all bullish. No, I'm like starting to lean over into the bullish zones. And I see things that are just, that I want you to understand. You know, I can't hide this stuff from you. I want you to see exactly what I'm seeing. All right, now this becomes what I'm starting to look at is this triangle here. See it on, you can see it here too. Which tells me we may be hitting, you know, we're right at resistance on that 8-hour time frame. Look, we've hit it once, twice, 3 times. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see maybe a possible rejection hang out, pull the 200. And then we get like a bounce back up here into the zone. Nice. It's a big gap there too. All the way back up to like 102,000 though. So we'll see. Only time will tell. Looks interesting to me. All right. More sideways price action. I wouldn't be surprised if we go sideways until like Monday morning or even like Monday night, Tuesday. You know what I mean? We just got so much. And we'll take a look at what's happening. I see some weird stuff, speculatively on the Fed and interest rate, but whatever. We'll look at that in a second. I don't want to bombard you yet. Let's finish our top down. Me too. But this is kind of what floats through my head and how I get ready for the week ahead. So tight moving averages, I've seen this huge pump up. I'm telling you, be like, what is he talking about? You'll get to know it over time. And see, I'm all about this 4-hour 200, but every single time we've broken the 4-hour 200, here we did it. Rejection, rejection, rejection. Barely. Rejection, rejection. And here we are yet again. And to me, it's like, because every time we did it, we were too far from the 21. You want to break above the 4-hour. You want to hover, hang. You want to start to hang out and consolidate. You got to spend a day or two. 6 4-hour candles, 24, 32 hours, right? You want the 21 to come? Boom. That would be the play of a lifetime. If the 21 can cross and we can get in here and put a stop like somewhere below this jump, this stuff here, we can use all of this as our zone to stay below, and boom, and get up and through this cross. So this is why I start eyeing these areas, because I love trade. This is my sky, this is what I trade that 200, that 21. And I'll teach you how to get it in and how to do it in such a cool way that you'll almost be like, you'll either lose small amounts and switch your strategy pretty quick, or you'll be able to, or you'll nail it. I mean, it's I like this high probability way of trading. But anyway, you'll find out for yourself what I do and how I does it if you show up every day and just kind of get the knowledge. And if you kind of join the trading group and you hang out with me, you'll see what I'm doing. So yeah, the 4 hours getting a little to the overbought region, again at the same resistance point away from that 21. What do we do here? It's kind of like, this gapped away from the 21, and look at that last candle. What you know what I mean? Go after the longs, go after the shorts, go after the short. The longs again get tight. It's pretty crazy, right? I still see us in this. It is in a bit of a tighter channel here. So you could kind of do this. You see that? Which could break us out. To me, it's telling me sideways price action till Sunday night. Hey, maybe we have a huge breakout. I'd love it. That's why I think to go long on the bigger time frames is the best idea. Like I like the probability. I think we're a little over 50%. And whenever that happens to me, it's a little more in the long favor. Says my system. My system says it's in the favor to long. Because more people probably, you know what I mean? Because it's not going to be what the average person's doing. So I'm starting to see this price action getting tighter again and planning its escape out the skins, but it's going to take its time. Yes, that's a biggie line. Anyone new? We use the education we receive from Sam and Master Friend to make the gains. Join the 99, take the class. Amen. Meme coins are just going to go insane. Meme coins aren't going insane. They're up a little bit, man. Yeah, people think insane is 12 or 10%. Like, we got to calm down here. You know what I mean? We got to calm down here. Okay? They will be the first thing to pump. I'm not saying they won't. Like, it's a good thing. But going insane is a bit like, we got to calm it down. Like Turbo up 14%. Awesome. I get it. Popcat 20. No, I see it. Yeah, memes are ripping. 20%. 21%. Oh my gosh. These are the first things that are going to start going up when you see real value. All right. And the crypto space go up. They're just going to bring everything up in value. And then memes are down so bad that they look like they're up bigger. So if the whole market goes up like 15, 10%, memes will go up like 200. You see what I mean? Yeah. Be amazing if he sees my song, Drop Shots TV. I don't know what the song is, but God bless you, man. Sam, I made a feel-good song. God bless you, man. Thank you. My eyes are on WorldCoin and Zcash. Sam, Pepe was up 45% in 20 hours. It's all right, man. It was at the bottom of its barrel, so a little bit of a move for Pepe is not going to be, nice little move, though. That's a great pump. It was also getting, shield pretty hard, so you got to know. But, when you look at Pepe on the weekly, and I am looking at, that's definitely, the last time it was low there, that's like the lowest it's ever been. So seller exhaustion definitely there for Pepe. It's definitely not chasing the bottom. So no one wants to buy the top. They all want to buy, when it's pumping up there and go hard, right? But, definitely gains when you buy the absolute bottom here. I think it could take its time. The rally looks like it starts in August and it ends in November. You see what I'm saying? I've been talking about this for a while now. Like, if we do get a rally, it looks like we consolidate. This does look like the bottom, but you're just going to have to wait your turn. Again, I could be wrong. Maybe it goes lower. But right now, and again, I'm not a financial advisor. You do whatever makes you happy. I don't chase tops. So just listen to Jim Rohn after 30. Run, then tuned into Sam. Thank you, man. God bless you, brother. A way to start the year off right and just get it in. Thank you so much. Shout out to all the YouTubers out there, and shout out to everyone that pushes cryptocurrency. We love you. We appreciate you. Together, we all carry the flag of crypto. So it's not like me versus them or them versus me. All of us, everyone, as long as the content's clean and concise and not doing anything shifty, I think every single one out here that talks about cryptocurrency, that pushes the idea, we all help each other, right? My stream helps your stream helps my stream. Together, we all make this entire industry bigger. It's like, say there was an NHL team and they wanted to sell more jerseys, okay? And there was only 6 NHL teams. But then they added 4 more. There was 20. And then 30. Now, once there's 32, now the NHL's bigger. The individual team sells more jerseys, right? Yeah, why? Because they made the entire industry itself bigger. Understand? So if more people expand the industry of crypto and we push harder in the niche and it expands larger, what happens? All of us benefit, right? So every streamer benefits from every streamer. We're all a team. We're all a franchise in the league. You see what I mean? It's such a beautiful way to look at it. So God bless everyone that's still here, still making educational, even entertainment, whatever, you know what I mean? If sometimes entertainment is great during the right time, and sometimes you can learn through entertainment in a way. I try to form a little bit of both, so we have some entertainment and some fun, but we also get down to brass tacks here every day and just trade. Bitcoin doing damage with the pump back to the upside. Let's take a look at live price action here for Bitcoin. And could this be the day? Does the market just turn around in January, start an entire new month? Do we just push back on the 2026? And is it just like this? Does everything change today? It could happen. Let's go do a little deeper dive there into the 15-minute. 15-minute finally got above the 200 moving average. This is why I was bullish last night. This is why I pushed open longs, because you could see we made this beautiful flag on the 15-minute last night. And that was, came back, but it bounced. Did some jiggy. Look at this, though. I mean, that wick came right back to almost break even there yet again. Only be back at the high, so it's hard to hold these trades, man. That was a crazy move. I sold off twice, and took smaller profits each time. I would have made maybe a G had I hit that wick right there, but it just, it wasn't a perfect run for me. Hey, I never lost, it went the way it went. We broke on the downtrend and closed 2 daily candles over it now. Same setup. Yeah, that's what I just said. I said exactly what you just said, but I visualize it and really show it. But 100%, yes. But thank you for saying the same thing. I love that, because you're spot on. You know your trend, and you know what you're talking about. So I appreciate that. We're rocking out together. We got it. So to me, I just keep seeing this. Like, I keep seeing this consolidation. One could say, no, this was it. It broke out. It retraced, and now it's on its way for some big gains. It just needs, I would say, okay, but I'd say I'd like to see a flag here first, at least, too, on that 15. But hey, I like what we're doing on the one above the 200 moving average. That's my steez. But we've been up here before. This one feels a little more different because we're finally getting like a real day. The banks are open, liquidity's back. But yet I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not telling today's not going to be your big volume day. A lot of people are still going to extend that vacation. Like I said, when I got in today, like it's not going to be one of those days where it just, New Year pump and dump, wait till Monday. See, exactly, 100%. Yeah. It's a good time. Like my next big trade to me, like where I really trust in the market and like what I see and feel like it's all like is going to be Monday night, maybe Tuesday night. And even then, it might take a week for us to kind of flush out all the old plumbing and then get back into good graces, right? Let's take a look at what I was talking to you before. We'll just look at the week ahead, and then I have something else I want to show you. So here we are with Friday, nothing crazy. M3 money supply year over year is up 3%, and it's more than it was. So that tells us money's coming into all markets. I mean, you know what I mean? Even though it's euro, like it's coming. It's M3 money supply. I like seeing that, and it's above forecast and above the previous. They're sending that money around the world, man. Okay? And that's only going to send more money into risk-on assets at one point, because what can you do with money that gets printed so much that it loses value? You have to be riskier with it, don't you? I mean, if the money starts to lose more value, aren't you riskier? If someone gave you, okay, check this out. You go to work, and there's a casino on your way home from work, and you walk by it every day, okay? And you get your paycheck, but you never get tips in cash, right? But one day your boss just says, hey, I'm just going to give you like $5 in cash, right? And you're like, cool. And as you get it, and it's an extra money you don't usually get, right? So you look at it, you're like, I'm already getting my paycheck. I got $5 in cash. You're more likely to do what? Let's be honest with everybody here. What are you more likely to do with that $5? And let's just see how many people are listening here on the stream. But what are you more likely to do with the $5? Talk to me, people. Talk to me. Let me hear you. And there's a bit of a delay, so we'll wait. But what I just want to see what people say here in the chat. What are you more likely to do with the 5? Because you never really got it. I don't know where you get it, Or maybe you always get a $5 tip. All of a sudden, you got a $20 tip. What are you more likely to do with the 15? Right? Yeah, you're more likely to gamble it at the casino that you walk by every day, right? 100%, right? I believe that. So what's going to happen to people that get more money at a cheaper rate? What are they going to do with it? I'm just being, they're already rich. They got money at a good rate now, and their life's great. They're going to get more money at a cheaper rate. What are they going to do with it? They're going to put it in, you know what I mean? Anyway, it makes sense to me what they're going to do with it. Anyway, so Monday, we start off with ISM manufacturing PMI, and the price is at 10 a.m. That could have a little jolt in the market. And we have M4 money supply in the British pound, which is, I'd like to see that too. They think it's going to be down. That'd be cool if it's up too as well. Right? We'll be eyeing that for a +1 on that one, plus 0.1 or something. CPI month over month, and all, that's Australian dollar. We have FOM member speaking final services PMI at 9:45 on Tuesday the 6th. Nothing too crazy. Monday we start off a regular week though. Wednesday, jolts job opening, and that always jolts the market. No pun intended, but not that funny. It's not that funny, but it does. It does jolt the market. Jolts job opening at about 10 a.m. Wednesday. Thursday we have the unemployment rate. We have challenger job cuts, which is interesting, but the unemployment claims is really what you want to pay attention to. Prelim non-farm, which I've never really seen prelim non-farm. Trade balance, natural gas shortage, consumer credit month over month. I like seeing that. I'd pay attention to that just for me and other ideas. 8:30 a.m. unemployment claims, though. That's going to be the big one. And right now, there's no previous or forecast for whatever reason. But we expect that to be low. But we'll see now that there might be a difference now, because now that the holiday, but even though the holiday season has changed, right? This is going to be a prorated, maybe. Like we get this information and it comes on. We won't get this month's information till later, right? So I expect it to be lower then, right? Because of the good, it seems like good holiday season, but we'll see. Unemployment rate and non-farm employment change. So Friday and Thursday at 8:30, we're going to be hit with some, good volatility, which can move the market, which can actually create some opportunity too. So pay attention. I'm excited, and we'll see kind of where that goes. And so this is another thing I want to bring up, though. But there's still, and this does have some sway in the market, even though it shouldn't. It does, and I pay attention to it. It has to sway me because I know it sways others. Even though I don't think it sways me, it does sway me because I watch what other people do and I speculate on it. You get what I mean? It's like, oh, well, they look like they're going to do this, so I'm going to do that. Anyway, 350, 375. 85% they're going to not cut the rate at all. Keep the rate current, which is a bit odd. All right. You know, we want to see that flipped 85.14 to 32, 325, 350. So we'll see what happens. But for whatever reason, in 26 days, and our next meeting, January 28th, and here we go. It's crazy, man. You know what's funny? This year is going to fly by. I can already see myself talking. And, wow, this is such a special time in my life. I really feel like 2025, like, I feel like I might have peaked, man. I don't know, man. Like, I shouldn't say that, but it's, you know, I know life gets better. So much is coming. I don't mean I peak, but like, I just want to talk about an overall complete contentment. You know what I mean? Like at 41, 42, your body's still in pretty great shape. Your body's in great shape at 45, 50 years old. But let's be honest, you're not 30 when you're 50. And when you're 30, you ain't 20. I just got to be honest. So when you're 41, 42, and you feel good, you feel good. So I had a great year of feeling amazing, right? I was like 41, 42 in 2025. I came in 41, I turned 42 in 2025. Me and my wife, great time, great relationship. Had a wonderful time with my wife in 2025. Like, blessed to be alive. Had a wonderful time traveling. Had a good time with my children. Like, they nourished me. Anytime I hung out with them, they fought a few times. There was a couple times that they argued that I really was like, you guys let me down because I work so hard. And when I plan to hang out with you, I don't want to see arguments, you know? And that's how I flipped it on them. They felt really, really guilty. Like, Daddy worked so hard and we're going to, you know, they argued over socks or something. And I said, we live in abundance. I was like, it's a pair of socks. Like, you know, we can do so much with like, that's a pair of socks. Yeah. But besides, you know what I mean? And they learned, you know, but there was good lessons learned, which had to be learned. I felt like there was good fathering moments. 2025, just, you know what I mean? I don't know how it could, like, God is my witness, man. Thank you so much. Like, I'm so blessed. I look now on January and I'm just like, I'm still in awe of 2025. Like, I'm like, I got to get off of 2025. I got to focus on 2026 because, like, it's over now, right? It's in the past. But it was such a monumental year in my life, and it changed my perspective on so many things. You have to remember, I didn't fly to Singapore in 2024 because I was, like, afraid to fly 15, 16 hours. I made a bunch of excuses. I didn't, you know, oh, it's going to hurt the business. I'm uncomfortable. I made a lot of reasons why I couldn't get on that plane. And I just, like, I didn't want to leave my family. I was nervous. I had just these you know, I can't explain it. And I got on that plane and went to Dubai, and I kind of got through a lot of fears that I had. I got a fear of flying. I really did, everyone. I'm not trying to be, you know, everyone's like, what a weirdo. But I just, you know, kind of a control freak. When I'm in that plane, I'm not really in control anymore. And I got a family and kids, and I want to make sure I'm there for them. And it's like, I have to kind of throw caution to the wind and say, okay, this plane's going to get me there. Even though I got 3 kids and a wife that need me every day, my channel and everything. So it's like, you know, there's a lot on me when I travel. It's not just like me. If it was just me traveling, I think it would be a little easier. But me, you know. And I got on that plane to Dubai, and then I got on that plane to Singapore. I got on all those planes, and I took that little plane. If you remember, if anyone watched, I took this tiny little plane. It's crazy. I forgot about that ride. And then, bam, you know what I mean? And then the Singapore was just nuts because it was so long of a ride. And then the Lisbon ride was easy. After Singapore, 8 hours was simple. One way, 8 hours, I'll take that all day. Having to drive to Miami Airport too, like every time there and back, it's, you know, 3.5 hour trip both ways, one way. So anyway, but what, I'm not complaining. It was just an amazing year. Shout out to everyone that cooked with me. We cooked, man. We cooked it up. We cooked it up. And again, we're fizzling out. We're fizzling out. As I told you, and what do I mean we're fizzling out? Okay, you have Thanksgiving. You know, we kind of saw what was happening. December gave us some promise for the couple 2 weeks. Once we hit the 19th, the 21st of December, we knew all the way until, you know, really January 6th, because I looked at the way the schedule was set up. January 5th or 6th, you know, that we were going to have a slow, low volume. And, you know, this year was set up really nice. You know, sometimes it's not always set up that way. You know, Christmas can sometimes fall on a Saturday, right? And then when Christmas falls on a Saturday, if you go for the New Year's like on Monday, and then, you know, New Year's Day can be Monday sometimes. And then you get Tuesday, and then everyone's back to work. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. It's like a work week, right? But this year was different because you had New Year's Day on Thursday, which was a day off for everyone. And then everyone was like, all right, I'm mailing in Friday. Like, I'm not going to come into the office. I'm not opening up trades. Even me, I'm like, dude, my kids have one more awesome day. Then it's the weekend tomorrow, which is kind of cool. We have 3 more awesome days. And, I'm going to say one thing that I don't want to be rude to anybody, but I'm going to say one thing. Like, I got you could say, I don't know, I got to a great place in my life, right? In all facets, financially, spiritually, mentally. And I hope to do the same for you by showing up every day. That's the point of this show. I just want to make everybody know this. But what I want to say right now is you make money. And let's just say person A. Let's talk about any man, because I like to take myself out of the equation. But let's say any man or woman, but I'm a man. So, a man, let's just say a man makes $20 million. And I'm not saying I did. I'm not talking about me. But let's just say a man makes $20 million. And his net worth hits 20 mil. He works hard. He still hits his business. He never changes what he started when he didn't even have, when he was in debt, right? He didn't change. He just keeps moving. But he's getting older. Let's say he's my age, 42, 43, and he has 4 or 5 kids. It's like, and his kids are off these next 3 days. It's like, my whole point is you start realizing the value in just a day with your children. When you've made money so many other ways in your life and you've given so much of your time to make money, like I talk for a living daily. Other people do too. You guys spend time like me. There's people here. You may do flooring. You may do, who knows? You know what I mean? I don't pick flooring, but some people I know do flooring in my group. And, you may be a litigation lawyer who makes $500 an hour. You may be a doctor. You may be a brain surgeon. I've seen so many people in our group, that do so many different things. And, now, you may be a physical therapist. You may be a chiropractor. I know a chiropractor in the group, a very wealthy, respectable guy that's, done very well for himself. So, there's so many people in the group that have helped me more than you guys ever know. Like, I've done one-on-ones, and then they've been really interesting and amazing to talk to. So the point of the story is the next 3 days are going to be so blessed because I can spend the time with my kids again. All day. They're going to be here all day. And whatever if they want to play a game, if they want to do something, I can be present with my children. So, if you don't mind, how many kids do you have? I have 3, man. You could say my job is just talking to people, but you have to say the right things and know all the lingo. Amen. Yeah, it's more than that. Talking is talking, but what's behind the words, right? I'm just beginning my life. My neighbor's 91 and runs a sledding hill. He has a successful business and is now shoveling snow every day. Makes me realize it ain't over till it's over. Be present. Amen, man. I love this. Yeah, you could be 61 years old, and some people live to 91. What's kind of crazy? One thing I do, maybe I should or shouldn't, but I sit and play math games with time and space in my head. Like I think about it. A 61-year-old, right, can still live to 91. All right? And remember, you go back 30 years to when that person was 31, and they live a beautiful 30 years, right? That's 30 years. The 31 to 61. What a life, right? That's kind of the core of your life. When you're 31, you kind of at least some people, took me to my mid 30s to really, I was behind a lot of people. A lot of people were 28, 29, took me to get there when I was 35, 37, really, for whatever reason. In some ways, maybe other ways I was traveling, in other ways, maybe I was spiritually guiding and learning so much before I really got into the real life, you know what I mean? Anyway, 30 years. And you look here, 60 to 90. So it's crazy to think that you could have the same amount of time that took you from 31 to 61 left on life at 61 years old. You got to take care of yourself. You got to be good. You can't be eating, drink, you know what I mean? I don't know, one lady, she lived to 100. They asked her what she did. She said, I had a Dr. Pepper every day. So I don't know, man. I don't know, you know what I mean? But I don't know if that's an exception to the rule. I don't know if I would live and die by that idea. You know what I mean? Most people that have a Dr. Pepper every day, I don't think they're going to be living as long as she did. But you never know. Maybe there's something in this. You never know, really. You never do know. But anyway, moving forward with the idea, you never know how much time you have. Thinking that you have less time and focusing on that is just going to hurt your time. And the sad part is that, yes, time will drift away. And the saddest thing about life, or, the bittersweetness to it all, is the present moment makes you feel like you're there no matter how much you've lived. Understood, right? We all can say that, right? Today I'm 42 years old. And I'm right now, right here with you, right now. Like, this is where I am right now. Boom. Right here in this present moment. Bang. And, like, I can think of all my years growing up in my 20s and everything, but all I have is right now. And when I'm 93, I'm going to be like, dang, man, like, I'm right here right now. So, like, even though I've lived this whole life, it's going to feel like today, right now. So when I'm 90, it's going to feel just like right now. You know what I mean? And so life, it's kind of like, it's bittersweet. Because on your last day, it'll still feel like you would want to live forever, I feel like. Because what's going to change? Like, every day you should wake up, you know what I mean? Some old people look at a piece, they say, like, it's my time and all this. I don't know, man. Maybe that's how it works. I don't know. You know, my dad seemed like he knew it was his time. He looked at me dead in the face 2 months. He said, I'm dying, right? 2 months before he passed, he told me in my face, I'm dying, right? Like, and he started talking like he just kind of had given up a little bit. It was sad. We would hear him and he would just be like, it's kind of, that's it. I just want to have my coffee and read my book. Like, if I can get through the day, Sam, that's all I need. Like, he got real simple. Like, he went to the post office like once every couple of days, and it just, it was tough, man. I watched the deterioration and not only just his mental state, the way he didn't believe. And I kept asking him, like, how come you don't think, like, come on, Dad? I was like, it starts with the mind. We got to start thinking things are, we can get out of this. We could change, One of my last texts to him is, I'm like, I found this thing. Let's research it. Like, anything can happen. So anyway, I see sideways price action for Bitcoin all the way up until Sunday, maybe even more. It might even go like this until January 5th or 6th, Again, maybe we don't, maybe we pump, and I could be completely wrong. But I like where we're at. I like that we're building momentum to the upside. I like how we hit the 21 above the 200. We got the follow through. We got the jagged uptrend. But I'd still just see I wouldn't like play with Bitcoin and again, it's been hard to run a trading group the last week or two because I tell everyone the same thing every day, and I'm not as active, and I'm like not there just pumping out updates, and I'm not like, hey, let's do this, and it's not like when I'm like, I'm in this trade, let's do this. I took profits here. I'm moving this here. It's not a normal 2 weeks. And I told everyone, like, let's survive. I'm going to survive. I want to just make sure I don't lose my capital and overtrade in times when I don't need it. I want to start 2026 with chunks of tether ready to rock, with a clear mind, with a vision, with a goal, and, ready to push forward. So that's the vision. That's the idea, right? And that's kind of what I'm looking for. So Bitcoin, USDT looks sideways price action as far as I'm concerned. A little bit of a flag. It looks, you never know. There's always that little, there's this nice little flag here now. Technically kind of looking pretty nice. That could pump. And I think it's good to have a hedge long on the daily or the 3-day chart. But you do whatever makes you happy. That's my personal idea. I have a hedge long sitting that I've had open for weeks. So we'll see. It'll be a big payday if it ever hits. You know what I mean? So we'll see. I just kind of don't want to look at it. I let it sit because if I look at it, I just know it's there. I check on it once every couple of weeks, and I just don't want to look at it. Like if we get up here, I'd love to get out. It would be an amazing trade, right? So this is a possibility here. This is a possibility, and they may even raid it. You never know. They might come raid the long before they rip it too. You never know, man. But I'm starting to hone in on an idea that they're gonna pump this puppy, baby. So, but you do whatever makes you happy. I don't want to force anybody to do anything, and I am not a financial advisor. I'm just a guy going over the charts. It's my real life. This is the reality TV show of my life every single day. Can I go 2026 every single day? It's hard on the spirit. Like, it can be, if you focus on the numbers, social media, anything you do out here can be tough. Like, I have 100,000 subs, but maybe 20, 1 year you might not get any, you might grow a channel like me, and you might have more subs in 2023 than you got in 2024. And you might be like, and you know, you might start 2025 a little discouraged because you're like, dang, I didn't even grow like 2023. I'm on the downtrend, you know? And it can feel discouraging. It can feel tough. I'll be honest. And then I do a market too, and everyone's out of the market. No one believes in crypto. The thing I believed in, the thing I was so, you know, passionate about. And it can kind of feel like the end, right? The bottom, and you can get in your head. And for me, it's like, I've been here so many times, but like I've been doing this. And right now I'm here somewhere. Like I've been through so many bottoms that like this isn't a bottom to me. It's just a pullback. But I can see it, I can feel it, I can taste it. And I can see where people are at a little bit. But you know, it's also a breath of fresh air. It cleanses the market, it cleanses every industry. Well, not everyone can just do and say whatever they want anymore. You know, when the industry has a lot of people coming into it and the market is frothy, like someone can make a call and they can look smart for a couple weeks, enough to almost gain enough to get. But at the end of the day, it's all smoke and mirrors. It's based on just the fact that the market's perfect, right? Like, can you short? Can you long? Can you wait patiently? Can you do nothing and sit patiently, even though that's the hardest thing to do? Especially someone in a trading group, someone that like, you know, you want, like it's like being a surfing instructor and then telling people, well, we're not going to surf for the next 2 weeks. It's just not the time. And I was like, but I just joined. I want to surf with you. And you're like, I know, we're going to get there. But just this isn't it. And they're going to be like, what? Like, what do you mean? Like, you know, this could break out. I mean, the 21 is touching above the 200. There's a chance there's a pump here. It's showing signs, you know, that is the model. My model's saying, hey, you could be pumping up to 91,008. It'll be so nice to see 90K again. It's been a while, right? It's been a while. Sam's life is all about how much you could fit in the little hyphen that ends up on the gravestone. That hyphen between your DOB and the date of birth. Amen. I love you, man. Yeah. And you know what's crazy is like when you really research time and space, you find out that time never existed in the first place. It was like a human construct of the mind. And so like you were born, lived, and died all at the same time. It's like, and when it hits you that hard, if you can ever even simply conceptualize it, it would just like, but you can't really see that because you're still living in 3D space. But if you were to live in 4D space, right? And you've ever been through like 3D and 4D understanding of space and time? But like, you have a 3D, you have a 2-dimension object, right? Like the ant, you know the whole story, right? The ant is a 2-dimensional object. Okay. And say the ant's on a piece of paper, right? And you get a piece of paper. You can get any, this is a piece of paper and he's 2-dimensional, right? And you want to move a 2-dimensional ant from one place to the next, right? You would just kind of move them. Okay. Right, you would, I could make him an arrow, right? I think I could do that. But like, say that was the ant, and you just move him, right? But he has to move 2-dimensionally. So what you can do is you can put the 2-dimensional ant, right, into a 3-dimensional space, okay? And so look, you take the 2-dimensional object, the flat piece of paper, and you round it. And then the ant could skip from one end of the piece of paper now. So like what you do is he's here, right? The ant's here. But, and if you look at it, you're looking at a flat piece of paper. Agreed? But what you do is you round the piece of paper, right? So you take this end and you curve it to that end and you get a circle, right? And let's just say they meet right here. Well, now the ant can go from here to there instantaneously. You see what I mean? You see what the ant can go from here to here instantaneously now because he just has to go from that side of the piece of paper to that one. And it looks like he went, and so he went through space and time. All right, so the 2-dimensional ant went through 3-dimensional time and space. So we need to go through the 4th dimension, understand? And people will see that we look like we're going through time and space, understand? And so it goes all the way into, I don't know what dimension it ends at. The 7th, 8th, 10th, 9th, it could go into infinity. And that's kind of almost like, whoa, when does that end, right? So it's about, their dimensions. And we right now live in the 3rd dimension. But there is the 4th dimension. Now you can't see the 4th dimension. And in the 2 dimension, they can't see the 3 dimensions. Like in 2 dimensions, they can only see a circle. You see? But we can see a sphere. Right? We can see a globe. Like, sorry, let me draw. If I draw it correctly, right? You draw a perfect circle if you can. You put a line down the middle and then you make these bends. Right? And then you give like a dotted line here if you can. But the idea is, right, so you can draw this circle. And, you know, my whole point is we see the 3-dimension. We can't see the 4th. Now, just like we can see into the 2-dimension very easily, the 4th dimension can see us, but we can't see them. Aha, right? Who is in the 4th dimension? Who is watching us? I get that. And that's another concept that we can go into at another time, right? I'd love to see 90K here while we talk about the dimensions of time and space. But, you know, that's kind of, you know, kind of weird. You know, it's crazy. You know, enjoy what little freedom you have left. Yeah. Buckaroo Bonsai across the 8th dimension. Yeah. A rising tide lifts all boats. That's no Bob Ross painting. Screenshot the TA right there. You know, if the NASDAQ can't throw back, Bitcoin will rip ski. Let's take a look at that NASDAQ-y. Let's take a look at the NQ Alito and see what's happening here with the NQ. All right. Nice little pump for Bitcoin out the gate. And I did say, looks like we could get a move. 90,000. 90, baby. We haven't seen the 9s. I mean, we wicked up to the 9s earlier this morning, but we hadn't seen the 9s since the 29th. Since my mama's B-Day, baby. Bitcoin getting a nice pump out the gate there. 1 minute above the 200, touching the 21 inside of a flag. Is it sustainable? Can we get above this resistance, or do we come back down hard? Let it rip ski. I like it. I like what I'm seeing here. Back on top. Anything could happen. Really anything. And this is why, you know, the long-term patient trader can really outstand anyone else, man. I don't care. The fast scalper, this and that, you know, at the right moment, at the right time. The trade's got to be made at the right moment. Like, you got to be able to, you sit and you wait. See, what happens to me is you watch this stuff for years on every single, everything time frame, different areas. It's funny. I want to address something. I was in the into the Discord yesterday, and someone goes, "Did market makers really use the yellow 200 moving average? Like, this sounds like complete garbage, right?" So I was like, okay, let me just kind of help. Like, let me just like, and again, I don't try to see what I try to do. Say I was on the battlefield on and off for the last 15 years, and I somehow survived every time they put me out there. And I brought most of my troops home. Okay? And then I showed you the battlefield. I talked about as much as I could. And I showed you all the different battlefields. And I showed you all the similarities. And then you said, the enemies really just do it like that? You know, and again, like, things change, right? But like, you know, and it's a little more different in here because that, with technology, it will change a lot more. And when it comes to, like, you know, armed forces and stuff. But my idea is TA... You see it all the time. So I'm not, my whole point is I'm making an analogy that when I show you technical analysis, I'm not forcing my idea on you saying, hey, trade this way. You know, I'm saying, hey, I've observed the markets. By using these skills and strategies and probabilities, I've been able to harness a good probability in the market. And I'm telling you I'm 100% because if I was, it wouldn't make sense. Nobody's, you know, if someone ever claims they're 100%, 95% win rate, I just, you know, you gotta take that. Even if someone says that, it doesn't make any sense. Like, it's just like, come on. I actually, you know, it's crazy. I've hit 21 out of 22 trades. I've hit 22 trades straight. I've had a 90% win rate, 85% win rate. I've had great win rates, but it's not like it lasts forever. And sometimes I take a break from it too. And it's not like it's like, you know, every single trade I put out hits. You know, in the bull market, when things are ripping and there's good volume, you can hit some really high win rates. Much love, Sam, Bryce, Pita. God bless you, Pita. Thank you for being here. The whole market is green on this Friday that feels like a Monday. Yeah, it does feel like a Monday. But I don't, you know, I still expect either sideways or something like, I just expect sideways price action today. I don't expect too much going on. I wouldn't get too, you know, don't get, number one, if it was an awesome week with tons of price action and it was a regular week, I'd be saying the same thing on a Friday. Remember, now it's a Friday after a bank holiday, after New Year's, after Christmas, after years, you know, selling. And yeah, it's nice to see a little bit of green here. And I'm not saying it's the worst thing in the world, and I don't want to be like, oh, but, you know. Someone said SBA 6,900 taken off. It's in a little flag here on the 1 minute. Really low volume. And you always want to look at things on the daily. So let's take a look here at the daily time frame. What, 55 cents for SPX? And everyone said this is going to be the one. It's going to overtake the S&P. You've never seen anything like it. Hey, man, it held its bottom, I guess. I don't know if that's cool. And it seems like it's double bottoming. Everyone believes, there's a chance that Bitcoin is. I just, they've almost beaten my ability to over-speculate. It is, look, it's an Adam and Eve. Is it not? And those look pretty bullish to me. And I could see us get back to the daily 200, back to this whole level of liquidity here. Now, that makes sense. There's a big gap in the VRVP. Again, it takes guts, though, to buy this stuff. Every time I jumped in at these bottoms, it was like here, 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 and here. And like we just kept getting beat down. But hey, maybe this is the final act. I mean, this is the final shakeout. It's like, man, it's different this time. The 5 is a 6, So I'm just a little more weary. Maybe I'll miss out on some bigger gains. I didn't sell everything. That's the key thing, though. I'm still in a lot of big coins, and I still have a, what some could be considered overexposed altcoin portfolio. So, but I do like what I'm seeing here. There's some promise to that trade. Yeah. We're getting rejected for persistence at 89.9. Get you some money, scalp it, baby. The market is enticing. Yeah, I just don't trade Fridays, like really. And regularly, I don't trade Fridays, and so trading Friday to me doesn't mean I don't do it at all. Like there have been Fridays when I'm like, okay, I'll take the trade, but it's just rare. I made trading rules. This is what happened. I'm trying to make the best metaphor. I always use fishing, but let's say trading is fishing. Okay, so I started my trading career and I traded every day of the week, of course, right? And I traded the markets Monday through Friday because I traded gold. I didn't trade 24/7 cryptocurrency. Then I got into crypto and I started trading Bittrex and these little altcoins in 2016. And I day traded back and forth, did all this nonsense, and I learned a lot. Okay, and that was 24/7. And then you had to buy Bitcoin, put the Bitcoin in, and then you couldn't. There was no tether. I didn't trade tether at the time. So I had no safe, I was never out of a trade technically. I was always inside of a trade. It was insane. It was nuts. And just sold a big sold win. Let's go. I love it, bro. Shout out to people taking gains, man. God bless you for paying the trader. It feels good to pay the trader, my friend. The point is, that all started to make moves. What goes down, much come up. Yeah. I have not lost money in my retirement. I lost a single stock in crypto the last few years. Yeah. So I moved into the 24/7 crypto market, and that kind of changed the way I had to trade. Right? It was like you never got that break. It was constant. It never ended. And but that kind of and that's kind of but you also see a lot more in crypto when you trade crypto because you're trading the weekends when you don't And so what I did is I traded everything. So remember, I traded everything. And all days and all times. And I did this for like 10 years, maybe even more. And like now my brain, I'll have to be honest, is somewhat exhausted from price action. I've looked at it for years. I'm old now. I feel older. Like I'm going to turn 43 in just in 3 months, right? January, February, March. I turn 43 at the beginning of April. So like in 3 months time, which will go by pretty fast. And I always do this. I like to pick times. Have you ever been in a boat and you're sitting in the back of the boat? Right, and it chugs away, and you can like throw a leaf or something on the ground, or I mean not on the ground, but out, sometimes or whatever, as long as you're not littering, but or you just pick even an object. Sometimes you go by like some seaweed and you stare at it, and you watch it go by, and eventually it goes so far you can't see it anymore, and you just look out. I do that some days after a long day. We're all out together on the beach, and I'm just sitting in the back of the boat looking out. And I watch like an object drift away. And I try to see how long I can watch it for. And it reminds me of my life. Like my life is as fast as that. Almost my life is that fast. If the universe is billions of years old and all that, and you live only 100 years, man, it's like, We are literally as fast as if, you ever go to a restaurant and the waiter says, do you want like salt or pepper on your meal? And you say yes. And they chin, and they walk away. Like, that's as fast as our lives are. Like, the time that waiter comes and sprinkles the pepper on. Like, your pepper sprinkled on a salad. And I'm not trying to be rude to you. Like, we're all amazing. We have great lives. But we're so, like, it's literally like our lives are so fast, man. And so a lot of people, and what I want to say about that is not to depress you, not to scare you, but just to let you know, like, you don't have that much time here to complain. You don't have that much time here to whine. I do want to scare you in a way, not scare you, but kind of make you feel a little nervous. Like, you don't have a lot of time on this earth. Don't spend a lot of it whining and complaining. Like, it's, you know what I mean? And then on top of even if we live the greatest lives, we all live to 100 years old, man. Even if I live to 100, and it tells me, fine, I got 60, that would tell me right now in my life, I have 59 years left, 57 years left. That means I have 57 summers left. You know what I mean? So I just want to put things into perspective for everyone, because there was times in my life where I spent more time like worried about my life and all the things, and I was young in my 20s. I should have just been enjoying myself. And now I remind myself, I'm going to be 60 looking back at my 40s being like, wow, I was young, I had my kids, I felt good. And if I spent my whole time crying about the market, depressed because I didn't make as much as I should have, and I got really into the money and it got into my head so much that I didn't enjoy my life, I'm going to look back on this time and be very upset with myself and say, dang, man, those were the most precious years of your life. So when I end this stream today and I go hang out with my family, which I will at the regular time today, not right now at 12 o'clock, but when I do end the stream, I'm going to remind myself of exactly what I just said to each and every one of you. And remember, many times when I'm on this stream, I'm talking to myself as well as to you. I'm not saying I have it mastered. I don't have what I'm telling you on point. I'm not the best. But if I repeat it to you, and I hear it over and over again, I subconsciously blend my brain in the way you're doing it with me. I Jim Rohn myself. I talk every day the talk, and it walks the walk. I believe, I think, therefore I am. I believe, I think, therefore I am. I believe, I think, therefore I am. I speak, therefore I am. I speak it into existence. I am an amazing trader. 2026, I will show one of the biggest trades of my life. I will make one of the biggest gains I've ever made. It might even happen at the beginning of the year. It might happen before Valentine's Day, man. Let's go. You know, I believe in opportunity. I know that I have opportunity coming my way. I know if I believe in the opportunity coming my way, I vibrate in a way that vibrates the opportunity right to me. It's telepathy. My mind brings the opportunity to me because I believe that I deserve it, because I believe. And again, I don't believe I deserve things unless I work hard, because I come from a working background of Irish. So the same thing for you. Work hard. If you don't believe you deserve and you can't seem to hit new heights that you really in your mind think you should be hitting, and that in your mind are like, man, and you're just not hitting these areas and you're wondering why, you're like, man, what's going on with me? It's because you got to work a little harder so you then believe that you deserve. Through deserving things you can receive, right? Like I live stream every day. Therefore, I believe I deserve the ability for my stream to grow. Therefore, my business should grow. Therefore, my life should grow. Therefore, everything that I do should grow. Amen. You know what I mean? And it doesn't mean I just have to do just that. There's more to the life. There's more going on behind the scenes. But James 4:4, we do not know what will happen tomorrow. For what is your life? It is even a vapor that appears for a little time and then vanishes away. Amen. Sam, we are all born and die on the same day. It's just that a real long day from the day of creation till the day of judgment. Amen, man. I was just thinking yesterday how short life is. Then Sam mentions it today. When I'm 90 years old, if I make it, it's going to be the year 2095. Imagine how much the world has changed in the last 20 years. Yeah, it's crazy. You're right. Yeah. If I live to 90, it'll be, yeah, you're right. It'll be 40 years from now. It'll be 2066. I'll be 80. No, wow, 2066. Right? Wow. My kids are growing up so fast in front of me. My first kid was a baby, and now she's 11 years old. You know, it's like, how are they growing so fast? In front of my eyes. Like, you know? And you can't stop them from getting older. You want them to get old and to dream and to learn and to see the world. But you also want to hold them as the babies they were the day you had them. Like, Oof, I am such a butterball for my girls. Like, don't even get me started. Like, I lost my mom, man, I know, but don't get me started about my daughters, man. Like, they well me up, bro, because they just, the purest hearts I've ever seen in my life. My daughters, man, so pure heart, so special, so angelic. Like, you can see life as it forms so beautifully at the beginning. What happens to people? You know, young boys seem so blessed. Young girls seem so amazing. My kids seem so amazing. Like, what happens to us? We lose our spark. We lose our fire. Like, you know, one thing after another, one trauma situation after another, and we all start to kind of wither away. So we're also beaten and battered. We forget what it was like to believe that anything was possible when we were kids. You know, the one thing that I reminded myself, I did my college, my thesis in the senior year of high school. Everyone did like these big authors, right? They did like, you know, they did the book, you know, Robinson Crusoe and Judy Blume, and, you know, they had to read 5 or 6 300-page books and then do a report on the author and how good of a writer they were. Wow, 90,300, nice little pump there for Bitcoin. Above the 200, touch of the 21. It is in that kind of gapped motion. And again, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we get a huge pump today and a massive short squeeze. This would be awesome. I'm in love with it. I'll take any time we're above 90,000, right? We'll see where this could go, right? I got a little trade cooking now that's back in the green for the first time in a while. So the 3 days back above, if the 3 day can close today, here's my I'm like, it's so weird how I'm bullish if we get really bullish too. If we get back above that 3 day 200 moving average. So let's kind of take a look at that. And look, there we are, like poking back above the 3 day 200. Another area, like I buy here, stop loss below these. Look at these multiple wicks. That's a bullish engulfing candle. I mean, look at the size of that thing. So today, Bitcoin looks strong. And I like what we're doing here. But again, you never know. You know, I got this trade cooking. It's up, what, like 366. It's a bigger trade. It's a $100,000 trade, you know, and I'd like to add to it if we can close above this 3 day. And even if I don't add to it and I let that thing cook, I mean, it could be a big payday if we get back to 110, 111. And then my bot will make a massive payday if we can just get back up here. You know, just get back to the average price here on the 15, which is right, what, 102.8? And to the average at 100. If we get to 100,008, I'll average out. But the whole point is this thing, my bot's been in since it opened the trade right about, I believe they at 29th of October and entered a long. Or it might have even been a little earlier. 1, 2, wait, let's see here, because I feel like I see 3 buys for it. Yeah, so enter long. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see, I think those other ones came out, right? Yeah. Yeah, no, so it's been in a long since like the 29th of October, right? You see this thing? Like, and it's got like 2 more safety orders waiting. It didn't have to use them yet. Like, it's been crazy what we've been, you know. And this just took patience, man. The whole month of December just took a lot of patience. You know, Bitcoin getting a beautiful pump to the upside, folks. And again, like at the end of the day, like just buying the 21, putting the stop loss below the 200 on the 15 and just going for the ride like we did it this morning. And just going for the ride prevailed for gains. You know, who would have thought it was going to? No one said it was amazing, but it made money, you know. And again, that's why I keep it simple. Like, a lot of times I have no idea what they're going to do with price. I don't. And I don't claim to know, and I don't like get crazy with it. But I just say, hey, I'll buy the 21 above the 200 and I'll just let it go. Again, and you can see how it does look somewhat like an Adam and Eve double bottom. Everything is moving steady together. It's a real good sign in crypto for nice moves up, quick and steady, setting up for a good 6 weeks. I'm making bank, swing trading, MSTZ. Funny. Until the calls come in and the leverage is over and you can't cover the position no more because you shorted BTC. in the long run, technically, right? On something that'll actually, right now, I'm going to say something that is contrary to popular belief. But right now, buying master MicroStrategy is buying Bitcoin at a discount. And I believe that will come to be true. But no one believes me. I still buy the underlying asset, BTC, in my humble opinion. That's just me. I'm old school. But there's a lot of people that, didn't want to handle the whole seed phrase, and they didn't want to handle any responsibility when it came to Bitcoin. So they bought everyone else's stuff that they could leave on a Webull account, you know what I mean, or an ETF. So it's the type of person you are, right? If you're an all or nothing person, or you kind of let someone else handle it, doesn't mean an ETF makes you soft, because it's a good way to handle the situation too. If you just got new and you want to have exposure, fine. I'm not saying exposure is exposure, and I'm happy for anyone that sends liquidity in any manner into the Bitcoin space. But my thing is this: at the end of the day, I want people to, Sam, what's your plan for buying Bitcoin on spot? Yeah, I'm a Sailor. I like Sailor, man. Like, people hate Sailor and they think he's out of his mind, insane. I just think, like, the person that most people don't understand is usually the person that comes out on top. And that's been through history. Nikola Tesla, man, was lighting light bulbs through, like, the ground, and he basically explained at a symposium what the internet would be, how they would move images through wirelessly, and people thought he was, like, they basically were like, this guy's nuts. And he was, like, laughed off the stage and called nuts. And most people, so. Sam, we've never met, but honestly, my brother, you have one of the biggest hearts I've felt in my 55 laps around the sun. God bless you, my brother. Thanks, man. That's pretty cool. You sold everything and put it down on a 100-acre farm. I'm going to forget about trading, going to concentrate on farming for the next. It sounds good. Sounds great. I would do both, but you do whatever makes you happy, Crypto Portuguese. But it sounds like a dream, man. Sam, Glazing Sailor is the biggest catalyst for the stock, apparently. You guys are funny. Someone says Sailor. See, a lot of people have these, like, nasty, like, Sailors this, Sailors that. It's just interesting. But MicroStrategy isn't moving in correlation with Bitcoin. Wouldn't you be better off buying the ETF? Yeah, I said this. I just said that. 100%. I said I would not buy it. I said I wouldn't even buy the ETF. I buy the underlying asset, which is Bitcoin. But that's just me. I mean, I'm Jack Mahler. Like, that's kind of how I stand behind that idea. So, still that exact resistance area for Bitcoin we keep hitting. Doesn't mean we can't push through. I love 90K, baby. Sailor's okay, but the company and investors don't care about Bitcoin. They want money. Yeah. Best tips and advice to swing trade, please. Thank you. Bless you, Sam. For some reason, I think of this having a rough time. It's okay. You know what's so funny? I love when people say that. This guy joins minor league baseball, and he's really good, and everything's going up, and they're watching him, and then, like, someone gets hurt in majors. And they look up and they're like, especially in hockey, they do this a lot. They, and they bring you up from the minor leagues, and they say, bring the guy up. Like, let's see what he's got. We need a fill-in tonight, or we don't think he's going to play, but we need a backup in case, and he's the best we got. And then that guy actually does get hurt too. Next thing you know, the unimaginable happens, and the double backup gets taken out, and the guy comes out. And now the minor league player is playing in the major leagues for the first time. He's been brought up to the big boys, and you know what? He might struggle a little bit. And he might not hit the first time, and it might not be perfect, and there might be some doubt in his mind. It might. So right now, someone's in my trading group, or someone's trading on their own, or they're just watching the stream, and they're like, Sam, and I'm having a really hard time. And I'm like, man, what a blessed person that is. Why? Because they're at bat. When you were working, but I used to work the night shift, and I didn't trade at all, right? And so my paycheck came in, and there's no hard time. My hard time was at work. My hard time was like, how do I get out of this rat race? What do I do? Then I started trading, and yeah, there was days where I lost money. Some days I lost my whole paycheck that week, everything I had. I made $1,500 that week, and I lost like $900 in a couple days. And I was like, dang, man, I just lost or I lose $1,200. I lost I couldn't buy anything. I could barely eat that week because I lost everything that I just made. It happened to me not more than I'd like to admit. Okay, and I struggled. You know what I'm saying? And thank God I did, because now I appreciate every single thing that I do have. And now where I'm at is it's like a dream where I'm at. Like, I can't believe it. I'm like, is this for real? You see what I'm saying? So, man, I cherish my losses now more than ever, more than anything else, because without them, I'd never be who I am today. Never. And and it doesn't mean I want to relive all of them, because some of them were very, like, I don't want to see my mom die on Thanksgiving again. Like, that was a heavy loss that changed me forever. I don't want to go through every pain that God put me through. Some of them, I look back on my time, because my mental health was so weak at the time that they were like I was really off, and I was really affected very, very heavily. Like I told you, man, I really like the long there. The long's actually in the money that I talked about earlier on the bigger time frames, like on the weekly, on the 5-day, on the 3-day chart. 3-day chart back above the 200 moving average. That's a bullish sign. You can see this Adam and Eve double bottom. We got to stick with it and be ready to flip. If you don't stick with it and you're not ready to flip, you're going to miss out on the move. I've learned this, that I've got to be here every day. I want to take weeks off, like a whole week off. I want to shut the charts down. And my mind goes, but you've worked so hard for so many years, Sam. You've pushed so hard for so long. They've beaten you. They've battered you. You stuck through. Like, people have made fun of your system. People have laughed at you. People have loved you. People have written great things, good things. You've been up and down, down and up. Some say you should get more views, Seems like you were shadow banned in other places for whatever reason until you had a fight. Less recognition, more move. I worked so hard to see less recognition than, like, other people work way less than me and get way more recognition. Who cares? It's not about me. It's not about them, right? That's the whole point. It has felt like a struggle. It has been tough. It's never been easy. It was never supposed to be easy. I never asked for it to be easy. If it was easy, then what would it be? So it's got to be hard. It's got to feel like it may not happen, but it will if I push. Then there's got to be something I can do to make it change. There's got to be something I can do to make it, you know what I mean? It's like, can we push through? The Moon Boys are out. Weekend pump. A bunch of ADA at the retest. So proud of the TA. Thank you, Sammy. Amen. Yeah. It's monkey market. The apes just chase price action. The key here now is the daily broke above a level. Now you just want to see that the daily can look. This is previous, resistance right there. You just want to see that the daily closes now above 89. And look, we went through a gap of the VRVP in the last 2 days. You got above the point of control. It says you should get to this little high volume node at 90, and you did that. Now you hang. Now look at the 1 hour time frame, and wow, the 1 hour just got a nice, pretty much of a short squeeze. Little high there. So we did break out. Now I would be back here kind of looking for a flag on the 15. 15 or the 1, really. But hey, we'll take it. I'll take anything above 90K for now, and we'll go from there. It's amazing. One step at a time, one moment at a time, one day at a time. Okay. 1K candle, please. The Moon Boys are on. Weekend pump. Maybe. I don't know, man. I don't get to... For me, I just see low liquidity moves that get people excited, but I wouldn't get overly... I wouldn't be like popping the champagne no more, So let's take a look here. If we zoom into Bookmap, you still see a lot of liquidity up to 92K. All right, behind the scenes there, it's blue. You can't see it as thick, but it's there. And then if you zoom out, you can kind of see it right here too at about 91.5. Still this glob though, from 81,000 all the way to like 83. It's a big fat $2,000 glob, and it still stands as like the strongest area of liquidity that we have to deal with. So I still see it. Bitcoin's still there. Again, lower volume, so I don't trust it 100%, but it is still the bigger area. So took profits, been a while, so that's nice. Isn't that amazing? Yeah, in the last 2 days, I made a couple trades that played out, which I didn't expect to happen. And we made even a gain, I believe, the day after Christmas, the day before, or New Year's Day or whatever. So, hey, I'm surprised myself by what happened. You know what's interesting is in the next few weeks, we reclaim 100K. The bot gets out. Everyone sees that I cash out hardcore. They all wish that they had ran the bot like me. They all say, how did you do it? Where did you get it? Bang. Sales go through the roof. You see what I mean? Like, you could be in the lowest point. Like, I could be down when everyone's down and out, doesn't believe. And next thing you know, everything could change. And everyone's like, damn, how did Sam pull it off? It's like, well, Sam didn't give up when everyone else did. Sam stayed in the game when everyone else left. Sam kept pushing when it didn't look good. I was deep in the tunnel. The light fell off. I was deep in the tunnel. The light turned off. I kept moving until I got to the end. Good morning, Sammy. That bot has got to be stuck. So much coin, Sammy. Come on. No. That got perfect. Bitcoin Rush 2026 is coming. Every country will be buying Bitcoin for their own reserves. Bitcoin price will be crossing 200K in a few months. In front of your eyes, save Bitcoin for the future, says Karo Kayasi. Hey, I believe what he's saying. I don't know if it's going to be as crazy as he says, and you never know. I'm open-minded, though. Let's take a look at the fan funding today and see who's coming through in the chat. We have Stas. God bless you, Stas. Bang, bang. Bitcoin TA, please. We love you, Stas. We hit it. I hope he did enough for you. What up, Sammy? Another day, another dollar. Let's get it, broski. God bless you, man. Thank you. And I see more people back in the stream, too. Nice to see the stream healthy. A lot more people back here. We haven't hit 1,100 in a while. So that's cool to see. That means there's people waking up, and it's a slow Friday. So that means our lifers are here, man, and here strong. And the algorithm's pumping, and Google's back up. And that means next week will be a great week. We'll be back to 1,200, 1,500 people. We'll be ripping like we always do. I'm excited. Quick stop. Make sure you hit that like button. God bless, brother. Peter says, good morning. Love it when you in on coffee. Go hard. Hey, thank you, man. Morning, sir. Your analysis on Zcash. Let's take a look at Zcash for Sumit Hardwani. Love all the stories and the life lessons you give. Thank you. Ready to go for 2026. 2025 was tough, but I pulled through with some goals achieved. Going strong for 6+ years. Never give up. Thanks for all you do. You know, I was in Vegas. I was in Dubai. I was in Singapore. I was offered liquor numerous times by many, many people for complete free, top shelf, high end. I was on planes. I was by myself. Nobody was watching. Nobody would ever know if I slipped even the tiniest of drinks. And I promise everyone here on my kids, on my life, I'm thinking, wait, hold up. Did I sip I think one time I took a tiny sip of champagne for everyone. So I can't say yeah, so hey, wait, stop. I'm like, wait. But did I? I gargled it because it was like a high-end bottle. I think and I was like, and I spit it back out. I wanted to taste what it was like. So I guess that's I don't know. But I did, I wasn't playing with the devil. I promise you, I wasn't chugging alcohol. But anyway, the point was I had many, many times to slip up. And I did it, man. 2025, I stayed strong with my no alcohol way of life. And it paid off. Knowing me and who I am, and just certain things that happen to me in my life too. Alcohol just never ends right, never feels right, never does the right thing for me. And so I'm really happy that I kept it out. And again, when I go on these trips, it's very professional. It's very business orientated. A lot of people are watching me. We're going out to dinner. They're watching me. CEOs of exchange. Everyone wants to know, can you trust this person and their behavior? What's going on? Not only do we want to work with them, but who are they? What's up? And if you're sitting there drinking all the time and everyone's looking at it, people are going to pay attention to that, man. And I saw a lot of people actually that were really professional in the space that got really sloppy. And I don't think they noticed it like other people noticed it. You know what I mean? Whatever. Maybe it doesn't matter. Maybe everyone's like, oh, it's just But for me, I don't want to be looked at like that, especially when I'm in business. I don't want to be looked at like that with my family and friends. Never mind when I'm out there with a suit on across the world. I'm out there in Dubai acting like a fool because I'm 5 beers deep or 7 shots deep or something. No. Thank God I drank throughout my life to know that I didn't want to do that. So thank you for 2025 for sobriety. And shout out to anyone else that enjoyed their sobriety through 2025. And this tweet, this guy just reminded me because he said 6+ years. I think that's what he meant there, going strong. So God bless you, man. I free. And shout out to everyone that just gave today on the super chats. It's amazing. You people are blessed. You don't have to do that, but you did. Started with a $200 super chat, which is amazing. Strong stream health. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all. I put all my faith in God every time. I say, I don't know how I'm going to make 2026 like 2025. I don't know how we're going to travel to as many continents. Traveling is tough. How am I going to miss streams without traveling? Will I bring a wire? Will I make everything? Will the hard drive work? Will the computer make it through? Will the Wi-Fi push? There's just so many questions when you travel with the stream. And, I leave it up to God. And this morning, I got up this morning, I washed my face, and I said, I don't know why. There was a little sense of discouragement. I don't know what it was. It was the second day of the year. It was kind of this empty feeling. I can't explain it. There shouldn't be. It should be whoa, anything can happen. But I think it's because it's a Friday. I think because I know it's going to be a smaller day in the market. The weekend's coming. You know what it is, too? My mom's passing is reminding me of my immortality. My mortality, not immortality, my mortality. I should say my immortality, But my mortality on this earth. My mom's birthday came and left. And every time her death like goes further away, and anyone I think can attest to this, like when your parents, specifically your parents, I think, or a kid or someone that you're really like, God forbid, but you know, my mom and dad died, and like first it's 6 months, you know, you're like, oh, it's been a month since my dad died. Then you're like, it's 2 months since my dad died. Then you'd be like, damn, it's been 6 months since my dad died. And that happened to me. I was like, wow, it's been 6 months since my dad died. I couldn't believe it. And next thing you know, my mom died unexpectedly when we were all about to like, we're going to lean on her to heal, man. She was really going to become the glue. We all came home to see her. We were going to have Thanksgiving dinner. I rented a big Airbnb, a beautiful space. Has this giant, big mooring ball in front of it that you can drive by and see. And now, whenever I go by, I can see where my mom passed. Like, cool thing is she didn't die at home, which may be good or bad. But, you know, we didn't, you know, she didn't die in my house, right? She died in a house I was renting. Now, whenever I go by that house was for sale the other day, and I was like, dang, man, you know. I'm just watching to see if the 5 minute can make a flag here. But my mom's passing, and then my dad's passing, and then the fact that my mom's birthday and her passing was Thanksgiving. And so I really thought about her hard on Thanksgiving. And then on her birthday, I couldn't really look at the markets much. I had a really tough time on her birthday. And it reminded me how fast my life is going to go by. And I thought about her time with me as a kid. And I put out pictures of us on X, you know, pictures of me and her when, you know, and I thought about like her time with me. Like right now, one of my kids is about this exact age. And right now I have this time with her that she had with me right there in that picture. And I know I keep saying it. And I know I'm here for TA. And that's all I really want to be here. I'm sorry to take us off focus anytime. I don't mean to do that. But the realness of my life sometimes just creeps in no matter how hard I try to keep it up. And I just want everyone to, sorry, I gotta like get strong here. But I want everyone to realize, man, that yes, like these are the days, like today is the day of your life, you know? You'll remember these times, like, and again, as much as we love like any age is any age, like 75 is you know, you're 75. 75 is not 45 years old. Like I saw when my parents were older, they were going, it was a little tougher for them. Things weren't as easy. I saw my dad, you know, and I'm not saying we could probably be, you know, there's people that are jacked, vibrant, and it's maybe we'll have the technology at 75. We'll have all the right peptides and all the right things. And we can be like, maybe we can be 75 just like we are today. Maybe that's coming for us. And I'm open-minded to it all. Right. And I hope to kind of jump on that train. But right now, you know, I see people getting older and I see them say, dang, you know, I miss being 40. I listened to a video yesterday, I think it was this morning, and the woman said, you know, I look back and thought I was old at 40. Like I look at myself now and I can see myself getting older compared to 28, 34, 36. Like I can see I'll be 43 and then 50 is coming, man. And that's kind of crazy to me. You know, that is insane to me. And then my oldest sister is about 5.5 years older than me. You know what I'm saying? So like, next thing you know, like when I'm 50, she's 56. And last night I thought about my older sister one day and I call her and I'm like, happy birthday. And she turns 60 and she's going to be like, I'm 60 years old. Like, and I'm going to be like, and in my mind, I was like, 60 is old. Like my mind was like, 60 is like, and I was like, 60 is like, wow, 60 is 60 years old. Like a 60-year-old man is 60 years old, right? Like, and it hit me so hard. Because I've been tracking her life, you know what I mean? Because she's older than me. Like I remember when she turned 30, I was like 22, 24. And I was like, damn, man, my older sister's 30 years old. Like she lived through her 20s. Like her 20s are gone. I'm still in mine. Like I'd always kind of be like, dang, like she's in the next era. I'm still here. I remember when she turned 40 and she was like, wow. And I was like, wow, my older sister turned 40 years old, like 40, you know what I mean? And I was still 34. I was just 28 not long before. I was still young, you know? And like now I'm 43. Right? And so it's just, I'm going to be 43. I don't want to add. But I'm just telling you, your life is going to pass so fast. And I think today, I guess I was put here to say this on my stream as Bitcoin, Bitcoin sideways. We want to see if it can make this flag on the 5-minute. Pull up to 21 with it and get this nice pump further up. 92.3. I like the bigger time frames. I like the 5 hour. There's a chance, man. This could be the real one. To me, it's all about this 4 hour. We've done this before. Can we hang above the 4 hour 200 now? We've done it. Look, we've come to this exact moment in time. Right here. We're right there. We usually go right back down again. Can this be the final time that this white line has to cross the yellow one? We get that and we flag. So we can even pump even more. I could miss us to 93 fine. Then we flag out. We touch that 21, and that would be the real move. That would be the bigger payday on the 4 hour. So, again, I've been showing hidden bullish for a long time now, every single day on the monthly. Nasty Nasa Tesla trades of the coming week. Yep. New Year's, Sammy. God bless your mom and family. Thank you. God bless you. 2026 will be blessed 1,000-fold. Thank you. Abundant new calendar to you and the family. I'm excited to be alive here with the lifers. Can we take a look at River? I forgot about it in 3X. Stay blessed. See you soon. Thank you, Jamal. River exploding insane, right? And you're like, well, what would you got to kind of ask yourself too? Do a little like, what would make River move like this? Okay. River 1751. What is it? $343 million market cap. So it had a small market cap, could be moved pretty easily. $2 million in volume ain't bad, but pretty small MXC. BitGet 12 million, 18 million on PancakeSwap. So it's really running the gamut there on the DEXs, which is interesting. Okay. Which means that it has like some type of, look at that. Visa expands USDTC settlement to USD banks. I mean, that's a big deal, right? Like, that's kind of crazy. I kind of want to read that real fast. Visa introduces USDT settlement for USD banks, boost mainstream adoption of stablecoins, enhance liquidity and faster bank transfers. Visa is extending its USDT settlement capabilities to US banks, marking a significant collaboration with Circle, Cross River Bank, and Lead Bank, because River's in the wording, it just comes out, Visa, in collaboration with Circle, announces the expansion of USDC settlements to US banks, enabling partners to settle directly in stablecoin. This marks a notable evolution in digital transactions and represents a step towards wider crypto integration. Key players such as Visa, Circle, Cross River Bank, and Lead Bank are facilitated. This is crazy. I mean, that was 2 weeks ago. I think I saw a little bit of that, but dang, that's hot. You can look for all the token unlocks March, September, October coming. So you have a little bit. It's building the first chain abstraction stablecoin system that connects assets, liquidity, and yield across ecosystems. Built by Omni, CDP stablecoin, SatUSD, River allows users to collateralize assets on chain and mint one another, natively earning, leveraging, and scaling across networks. Beyond traditional models, River has pioneered Prime Vault, Smart Vault, which combine collateral flexibility with automated no liquidation yield strategies. You know what? No, because you're funny. You know what I see happening too is before you know it, there's going to be a whole different type of RWA, new high tech, kind of slide in there with AI. And in 2 weeks we could get some type of new, Bitcoin recovers, and then next thing you know, all these little coins out of nowhere are ripping, and everyone's like, "What's happening?" And if you're on the 8 ball, so now it's like I see DeSci getting big. I think we really need to start focusing on DeSci. I think it's important. I think we got through all the mud and FUD of like Pumptober, Moonvember, Santa Rally. Like, it didn't happen. Fine. Let's move on now. Like, let's look above the horizon. It's 2026. Let's get off of last year. Let's focus on the future. Let's build, right? So my idea is, what's the new narrative? Or, what I've even seen in crypto before is you have these narratives that are sprouting out. They start coming out. We had AI, we had DeSci, we had, remember, DeFi AI, right? Def AI, if you want to call it, however, And then next thing you know, like, no altcoin was cool, and the whole altcoin market cooked. Like, virtuals disappeared, AI agents disappeared. Like, everything was like supposed to be innovative and cool. That's what's weird about crypto, is it'll be innovative tech that you think is coming new. You'll invest in it thinking, well, tech keeps coming. And then next thing you know, you realize it's all speculative nonsense that gets destroyed when Bitcoin dumps. And then you're sitting there with an idea in your hand that you actually thought was real, but it wasn't. It was all smoke and mirrors. And that happened to like 95% of crypto projects. And so, like, I used to think I was this great researcher, putting it all together. And I was like, if what they said they were going to do made sense. And sometimes the dots got connected. Like Caspa is still a real project that does proof of work. Like everything I've done on that project is still there. I still own all my Caspa. Something tells me over time it's going to do something because it actually has utility. And so even though the price may not be where it should be, the project is where, in my mind, is where it should be. There was some other controversy with it. I'm going to leave it alone because I don't care. And I still hold it, so I'd like to see it go where it should go, right? I love that it's a new year. It's refreshing no matter what happens. It really is, isn't it? There's something about it for me. I think when the older you get, the more the new year is like, okay, I'll take it. And I had a great year. I'm like, why was, it's funny. I had a great year, but I also had I look back on the year. Most successful year. I've never got more attention, more love, more, never. Like everything came, let's be honest, just whatever. I'm not, I don't want, it's again, me, but I got to go over what happened. It was an amazing year. And I've said it a lot because I'm still in shock of what happened. And more thing, almost every trip went as I dreamed it would go. I came home safe, number one, right? But I met who I planned on meeting every time I went anywhere. And just the right things happened when they were supposed to. It was very exciting times. And the energy felt good too whenever I went abroad. Everything just felt right. The trips went well. Singapore trip felt long. Felt like I was there a little longer than, it felt like it was never going to end for some reason. But I mean, I'm not saying I wasn't enjoying. I was, but you miss, when you have 3 kids, you just miss, especially a baby, you just miss them. You miss little kids. You're like, man, how much longer away from my chilenos, That's a Crypto Face reference there, Chileno. But anyway, Chilenos, my Chilenos, my little Chileno. That's my Crypto Face. There's my little Chileno. He's funny, man. You can't say the guy ain't funny, man. I probably made anyone that's ever watched him laugh. Like, come on, like, he's hilarious. How could you not laugh, bro? It's like the Aztec calendar is more accurate. Hey, it probably is. Crypto market is very oversaturated. Maybe 20 projects will survive and change the world. I believe that you could be almost pretty much right over millions of projects too. Well, it's like, pumped on fun. You could have an idea. You could smell an idea and turn it into something like, that wasn't always the case. It's Chelina, bro. It's a girl. You're still here, man. I get my Chelina. My little Chelina. It's Chelina. You forgot to check out Zcash. Let's take a look at Zcash for my man. Wow, river ripping, but far away from that 21 on the daily tells me that profit taking is a must. You do whatever makes you happy. And some severe bearish divvy on that 4 hour. I mean, that tells me profit taking is a must. You never know with what's going on here. If it's real bullish, I guess it could flag out on the 1 hour, but I would, to me, that's extended. You're chasing the dragon at that point, Let's take a look at Zcash. Last time we put out Zcash on the daily, it was up. Did it hold that position or did it flop around? It flopped and groped. So it stayed above the area, but it came back down again. It did hold the bigger idea, but it's kind of closer to break even, but it still is in the money. All right. So I just want to put that out there. It's still in the money. This trend line still holds though on Zcash. All right. You could say it broke out coming back to retest, or it's still inside. Either way, it works for me. You know what I mean? Some people say, oh, people change the pattern. Well, I look at both. To me, it sometimes doesn't matter. I can make the same trade on both patterns. I can trade the retest. I can trade the support of resistance and support. Like, after you've done it for so long, different ideas blend together, and you've done them both too. So it doesn't matter. You don't even have to fight. Before, I'd be like, oh, 2 patterns. What do I do? Now I'm like, oh, I've traded both of those. It doesn't matter. They're both the same. Let's rock. So the bounce might be nice off the 21 there. You're consolidating on the daily. Could also be a cash grab and a short squeeze. You never know. If Bitcoin tumbles, this is coming back down here to a possible double bottom. It's the perfect coin to get everyone excited about and to short squeeze them. All right. But it is making a higher low on that daily. I'd look for the tweezer bottom. The first time it closes a green candle next to a red one, and I'd set up shop. That's been my real boring way to trade recently. It's been panning out. Had you did it right here, you just waited for this green candle to close right there. You open up the candle, because it would have come down, it would have closed right there. This would have come up. Maybe you got in right around here, put the stop below there. There would have been a little, you got to wait your turn. It takes, see, this is the problem. Start trading small time frames, you get rewarded quick. But you want big money, so you got to trade the daily. But fine, I would have got in here, might have pumped, dump. I mean, that swing would have been crazy. I would have been up $5,000, down $2,000, up, you know what I mean? And then, because you're going for 20, 30, 50 grand, I mean, it's going to take some time. The point is, you'd still be up right now in that trade. But you just got to be, that's why when I do these bigger trades, it's just like you got to set it and forget it, man. You got to just set the trade and don't touch it again. That's the key. Someone says meme coins are pumping today. I mean, we're pumping, man. I don't know, yeah. They've been pumping. Nice little move up there, too, up to that 6th level. And again, I mean, you gapped up. Now, look for that tweezer top. And if you're going to be bullish, you're going to flag out again. Maybe you continue to bump. There's a chance. But at one point from here, somewhere here to there, I don't know where it's going to be. But there's going to be a flag for Pepe, too. And then the smart thing is to look at your 3-day, look at your weekly. And just trading the bigger time frames is the best idea. But remember, this is getting tweeted. And, there's a chance it's getting kind of like, just some artificial volume right now. But hey, maybe not. Maybe it's a premonition. Only problem is it's old retail money. We need retail money. Yeah, it's the same money. And so it's likely going to rotate out of Pepe into something else. That's the problem. It's not a bunch of new people buying Pepe like it was back in the day. It is having, look, I mean, if you look at it on the weekly, it looks nice. It looks like it's ready. But we'll see. Yeah. We'll see. Only problem is it's old retail money. We need new retail money. Yeah. I read that twice. Yeah. Anyway, we look forward to 2026, just like we look forward to 2025. I love Bitcoin at 90,582. Seems like it might have double topped on the one. Look for it to get tighter. Keeps getting tighter. Look for more. I could see a consistent short squeeze here. And I showed you I'm in that bigger trade. We'll see where it goes. Like right now, it's up $500. We'll see what happens. Only time will tell, folks. And you could trade with me on MEXC, Weeks, or BTCC. We took that beautiful gold trade on BTCC. We maybe got back in. We still got the Tesla trade cooking that we got into at 409, which is kind of crazy. I got in at 409. It's like, I got to look at that too. But, and 90,538. The government's granting stable coins have a backdoor to be seized, frozen, and destroyed to fall in line with banking regulations. Interesting. I just really hope everyone has a great weekend and God bless everyone. Yeah, and that's another thing. Expect this to be a slow time, I'm really awesome that this stream was hot today, though. I love it. Bitcoin had a bit of a pump. It brought back the market. We had volume. Google, everything was rocking. I like to see that. It was a strong stream. So it gives me hope for 2026. And we got a strong community of lifers ready to kick butt and take names. I love you all. Thank you so much for being here. Please comment, like, and subscribe. Hit the bell for notifications. Watch this 1 minute. Looks like it's going to flag out and continue to possibly pump here to the upside. Give us some gains. If you see a 1 hour close next, a red one next to that one, look for this to kind of close up. But hey, you never know. The chance the 1 minute kind of continues. I'd be careful, though, on low volume Fridays. But both things can happen. That's why, hey, opportunity is abound. Get in there and top blast it, somebody says. You're funny, man. And suddenly people also started to post Pepe meme again. Also, Cool Guy and some other big names. So I waited for the retest 2 days ago and I'm in. Amen. Look at that. Yeah, so watch Pepe, watch your things, big time frame ideas. Like an entry here with a stop below there. That's how I take this stuff now. And then you got to wait it. The thing is, it might do something like this. Has a huge pump, then the pullback, right? And then we're going to get that. And like that to me might be the time. And that might be June of 2026. And you might have you might hold Pepe for a long time just to get these little gains. Right? And then it's going to you know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong and it goes on a straight annihilation to the upside. I don't know. But it's usually going to make an inverted head and shoulder sometime. So anyway, that's just my 2 cents. So don't feel like everyone's going to feel like they have to rush in now because the market's been so flat. When it starts to take off, people are going to assume they're going to be left out and they're going to freak out. It's It's going to create FOMO, and it could hurt you. So just take a deep breath. One step at a time, one moment at a time. You can do this. You know, I have to say the same things to myself every single day. This is a process. You're going through it one step at a time, you know. So shout out to everyone that stuck with me through this time. So many people couldn't make it. They weeded out more people than I've ever seen. This was the hardest year I've ever seen for my, you know, people that I've watched. So people got shredded. And if you're still with me, you're still cooking, you're still going, you're one of like the real disciplined, focused individuals, because they made sure that if you weren't focused and disciplined, you weren't going to be here. It was very similar, like I talked about it, being a Navy SEAL, kind of army intervention. Like they went through and weeded out the people who were weak-minded. If you couldn't handle this price action, if it wasn't, you know, it basically, it shredded you up. So stay focused, stay amazing. I love each and every one of you. Stay blessed. I'll catch you on the flip side. God bless you all. Thank you. And remember, the secret to success is getting started. You're not going to be great to start, but you got to start to be great. Join the trading group. Go to cryptolifer.com to find out more if you want to hang out with me every single day in the Discord. Everyone that's already in the Discord, you're blessed. You're amazing. Thank you so much. Bitcoin tie on today. I don't know if you've noticed, gray on gray, baby. Keeping it fresh. But I love you all. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow. Oh. No, I'll see you all tomorrow. Thank you so much. Stay blessed and amazing. And I appreciate everyone for a really unbelievable 2025. And I can't believe we already have 2 days in the streak. Oh, one last thing I want to say is I thought about it. 10 days goes by pretty fast, right? Day one. It's already day 2 of the year. It'll be January 10th pretty fast. All right. So the next 10 days are really important, everyone. Why? It hit me. I said, we only have 36 10-day periods in the year. You told me I had 36 times to eat you know, I don't know, this year I might eat chicken palm 36 times. It might make sense. I don't know. Maybe less. I don't know. My whole point is 36 times seems like a lot, but it also doesn't seem like that many times. Right? My whole point is it's like, wow, we only have 36 10-day periods. 10 days seems kind of like a lot, but it goes by pretty fast. So you go on a trip for 10 days, next thing you know, it's over and you're home. That's only 10 times to go to sleep and wake up. So I don't know. It just bugs me out. So what you do for the next 10 days, it's going to have a big imprint on what you do for the rest of the year. So make sure you nail it. God bless you all. Thank you so much. I'll see you tomorrow.